Okay, so this is day 2, right? This is the morning of day 3, but we're going to recap day 2,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Leanne, would you read our verse from yesterday?
Yep. Isaiah 41:4 and 17 through 20 says, "Who has performed and done this, calling the generations from the beginning? I, the Lord, the first, and with the last I am He. When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, and their tongue is parched with thirst, I, the Lord, will answer them. I, the God of Israel, will not forsake them. I will open rivers on the bare heights and fountains in the midst of the valleys. I will make the wilderness a pool of water, and the dry land springs of water. I will put in the wilderness the cedar, the acacia, the myrtle, and the olive. I will set in the desert the cypress, the plane, and the pine together, that they may see and know, may consider and understand together, that the hand of the Lord has done this, the Holy One of Israel has created it."
Nice. I thought it was cool. We were pointing out at our first campsite that there were oak trees,
Right.
maple trees, pine trees,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 1 or 2 others. What
The
was that?
hummingbird was back.
Is that a hummingbird?
Yeah, he was here. Yes, he was at our campsite day 1 and now day 2.
Now he's with us.
Yeah,
Oh, so
We need a new name.
we need them, yeah.
We haven't seen,
he's Hummy.
what's the white one?
Oh,
the butter-
Zippy.
We haven't seen Zippy yet. I expect to maybe when we get further north.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Mhm.
He showed up on, showed up on Knife Lake last year.
Yeah. So we left, where was our first campsite? We left
Nina Moose.
Nina Moose yesterday morning at 10 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And lots of river travel.
All river travel.
And ended up at Oyster Lake.
Yep, we're on Oyster.
Yep. Oyster's a beautiful lake.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Not very many people here either.
Mm-mm.
Only one other group that we know of, actually.
Yeah, and we never heard them.
No, they probably heard us, though.
They
We
probably
were kind
did.
of screaming in the lake.
There were some very loud little girls in the lake yesterday.
Sorry, it was cold.
It was
It
freezing.
was
Very
freezing.
cold.
We always go swimming when the sun is not out. I don't know why.
That's true.
It's hard not to be quiet. Yeah.
Well,
We're out
everything
on the lake.
echoes.
And it echoes. Oyster echoed like crazy when we got into it.
It did.
Yeah. It was kind of cool.
But yeah, the river travel, we took the river north from, oh man, I'm bad with names.
Nina.
From Nina Moose.
I think it was called Nina Moose.
And that wasn't
River.
so bad, but we ran along. We don't always enjoy or love the people that we come across, because some people are really cordial and nice, and some people are just quiet, which is nice too. And then some people
They're just barreling.
through. And
There's no other way
we
to
ran
describe
into one group that was like, oh yeah, we asked them if there was any groups following them, because it was kind of a portage where lots of people have to go through. And he said, oh no, there's just this old couple, and they're having to double carry, and kind of, they didn't poo-poo them, but it was just kind of like,
yeah.
they're just old, they'll be really slow. But we ran across them, and they were the nicest people.
They were a delight.
The guy had been traveling since 1984 here in the BWCA, 50 years.
Yeah, they're both 72.
And the woman was, and the woman that was with him,
It's been carried.
this was her second time here, but she said she's been camping all her life. Like, she loves this stuff. But yeah, he had the coolest gear, all like actual Duluth packs, and yeah, they were the real deal. But he suggested, I don't know if he asked us if we were going. He was kind of the kind of guy that you're like, well, we were going up to the lake up kind of then he's the kind of guy that's been around the block and knows exactly where you're talking about.
Right.
He was like, oh, are you going to take the river up or go up the Oyster River? And it's one that I've read that you should avoid. And we ended up taking that, right?
Yeah.
Which was...
It was tough, but it wasn't.
Yeah, what was it like, Abigail?
It was basically.
It was an adventure.
It was basically bog with a bunch of beaver dams.
There was multiple beaver dams.
Yeah.
At first, the reeds, the channel was only like, what?
3 feet?
2 yards wide? Yeah, 3 to 4 feet wide.
And then constant, 90-degree turns.
Yeah,
so, turning the boat was always funny.
Yeah, you, couldn't turn your boat in there.
You couldn't quite fit in. Yeah. So
and then we just, in the middle of nowhere, ran across this other boat coming the other way.
coming the other way. We had to, find a pullover. It was hilarious. It's like when you're on a dirt road that's really tight and they just have random pullovers.
Yeah. They gave us hope, though, because they were like, 15 more minutes and you'll be out of this really tight stuff.
Yeah.
Which was true.
But it was still tight.
It was still hard.
There was multiple dams that we had to lift over. Or, we just ended up dragging. We're not dragging people, but there was no other option.
No, there's no option. You can't get out. There's nowhere to get out. It's just bog, so there's nowhere to step. So the only spot to step is on the dam. And then if you step wrong on the dam, you may or may not submerge both boots.
Mm-hmm. You did that.
I did that.
Abigail, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess your low point today, because Abigail's our featured traveler today.
She is our featured traveler.
What was your low point yesterday?
Seeing the mommy duck run away from her babies.
Yeah, so what happened? We were going down, this is like a narrow, it's probably 10 to 15 feet wide for a long ways, and it's curling back and forth, right?
Yeah.
And we ran across what?
A mom and baby ducks.
Yeah, there's probably...
6?
Yeah,
maybe?
6 babies?
Yeah.
A chunk of them, yeah.
Got a few when they all flapped across the water.
Yeah, they all kind of took off away from us, but the babies couldn't fly.
Oh.
And then we needed to go north, and there was no place. Well, they could have hid in the grass, but they just kept going north.
Yeah, and then the mom hid her babies in the grass, in a section. Yep. And then she went off by herself while we were still following her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got between her and her babies, and she couldn't get back because we were in her way. We couldn't figure out if she was trying to lure us away, because once we stopped following her and backed off, she came back to us making noise as if hey, follow me.
Right.
But then we kind of tucked away into some weeds and in this wider part, and thankfully we were losing it because it was just getting further and further and further from her babies. But then finally, in this wider part, we tucked back in the weeds, and then she took off flying.
And then she landed in her exact same spot where she put her babies.
Yeah. So Abigail was losing it, because who doesn't when you separate a mom from her babies?
Yeah. Yeah, who doesn't lose it? You should lose it. That's so sad.
It was sad.
Yeah. Nobody wants to deal with that. It was really nice to see her go land with her babies once we moved out.
And then I saw a baby come out of the bushes with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your high point yesterday? Okay, what was the weather like yesterday?
We had no rain, not super sunny or hot. It was kind of perfect.
Yeah, it was overcast, wasn't it?
Yeah, not windy.
That's true. We haven't had wind since we've gotten here, really, have we?
No. What about the, and not that you need help, but the river on our last portage? The, waterfally part. That was really cool.
Which one? There's 3.
No, the last portage, and it was beside us, and we had to portage up into Oyster Lake, the water that ran from Oyster down to make the river.
That's right. Oh. And we went through the trees.
Yeah.
Oh, with all the big leeches?
No. Well, all the leeches were at the bottom. But the river had no leeches.
Oh.
That was cool.
That was cool. I think you're still probably seeing the market with the babies.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So it was both a low and a high. Yeah. Yeah, because once we got to the end of the Oyster River where we had to climb, basically climb the portage up to Oyster, the little river was really pretty in there because you in the rocks and
Yeah,
you
it just ran over all the boulders.
But at the bottom of that, the leech that we found, what, 2 big leeches?
Three. We found like 3 really big leeches sucking the blood out of a dead crayfish.
Yeah, they were huge. There was probably 3 or 4 massive ones.
They were like maybe 2 or 3 inches long. They were huge.
More kept showing up too.
Yeah, they were huge.
They were also fat.
We'd also had through the whole thing we would find leeches like when Jeff would have to get in the water to move the boat, and then there'd be leeches on his boots or on our paddles, on the bottom of the boats.
Yeah, we first started out finding a baby leech on my paddle. I was like, oh, I'm never getting in that water again. Yeah. And then I see Ava's paddling, and then there's just this leech hanging off her paddle. I'm like, well,
I'm done.
Gideon, what injuries did you have yesterday?
Oh yeah, I tripped, or I had a rock slip out from under me, and then I fell over with your pack.
The food barrel.
And then I fell with the food barrel trying to get it out.
Oh, so you had 2.
I had 2
slips
on the same leg.
That's because Gideon carries all of our heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's treacherous getting out of the water.
That's right. You were portaging Dad's pack and you fell over sideways.
Yeah, he was like rolling over top of him.
It was just like, oh no.
Yeah, me and I were with him when that happened. I think it was because people just passed us and like Gideon caught up to me and Abigail, and then when we started walking again, somehow me and Gideon ended up walking right next to each other.
Yeah.
It was like a skinny path, and then he ended up falling over.
I make sure you didn't fall.
I stayed standing.
Good job.
Ada, what did we have for dinner last night?
Teriyaki noodles.
Good or bad?
They were really good. They smelled good too and cooked well.
You probably ate the most.
Probably.
You finished the pan. The
It
pot.
was really good.
We had black
cherry
limeade last night.
Oh.
It was
nice.
good.
For the drink. It was good.
Found out we could drink it hot, which would be fun.
All right. Well, good. We found a good campsite. We like this site, but we're going to move on, right? Because we're chasing weather, or we're trying to beat some weather. Wednesday, Thursday might be more rainy, so we'd like to stay here, but we're going to keep going one day more, and then see if we can set up camp for a couple nights.
Yeah.
So what's the outlook for today? We're here on Oyster. We're going north.
Yeah, we're going to go north to Rocky and then to Green, then GB on Equette.
Yeah.
GB for short. And then we'll see if we move on or not.
Okay. Cool.
I think that's good.
All right. Then we will see you at the next one.